What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to be talking about a little mindset trick to solve problems. And this is the difference between I can't and how can I. So I want you to take on a new task or a challenge, and that challenge is to walk from one end of the country, so the West Coast, all the way to the East Coast. You probably thought I can't do that. And that's because you have beliefs about, the difficulty, what would happen, yada, yada, yada. Basically, your brain took a shortcut and it just said, I can't, you shut it off, that's the end of the story. You may have come up with a few reasons why you can't. It's way too far to walk, my feet hurt, I'm out of shape, I don't have time to do that, things like that. What if instead of saying I can't and kind of shutting down your options, you instead approach the question with how can I? So it would be, how can I walk from one end of the country to the other? So if I ask the question that way instead, how can I do this thing? Immediately my brain is in a different pattern. I'm looking for ways to make it happen. As opposed to before when I said I can't, immediately it just shut down. Now I say how can I? Well, okay, then I'm thinking, well, I probably need some shoes. How long is it going to take? Where am I going to sleep? These are the questions that we need to answer to actually get something done. And even if you run into roadblocks within these questions, you use the same strategy, right? So how can I walk across the country? Well, I can't because I don't know what directions to take. How can I figure out what direction to take? And so on and so forth. You see how it just continues to build on itself, and you can get all the answers to a problem that you think you couldn't solve before. Now, obviously, the example I'm using is a little bit contrived, but you can use this strategy, one, to come up with solutions for things, and two, to kind of check how realistic they are, right? If I say, how can I walk across the country? We start listing out these things, and maybe it's not worth it. And maybe at the beginning of the exercise, you said or thought, I can't do it because you didn't want to do it in the first place. You didn't see the value in it. The problem is there's a lot of things that we do think will have value for our lives, but we don't pursue them for the same reason. We just immediately say, I can't, shuts down our brain, ends the conversation. It also allows you to communicate better with others. So if somebody comes with a question or a challenge and you just respond, I can't, that's not really that useful of information. But if you say instead, I come to you and say, you should walk across the country, and say, I don't want to because I don't want to have to blah, 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 blah. You get more specific, which in turn creates better communication. But the bigger point is that there's a lot of things that we probably feel like we can't do. However, when we start looking at the steps, we will uncover that maybe we actually can do it. So for me, the longest time I had a thought of, oh, I want to make a website. Well, the next thought was, I can't, I don't know how. Until I learned of this strategy and this framework and started applying it, then I wasn't doing anything. But as soon as I got this, I thought, okay, how can I make a website? I don't know. I'll go on the internet, right? There's Google. You can search everything. You can search the information for practically anything. So you can usually achieve a lot more than you think you can. And even if you don't want to, at least you'll be more concrete on the reasons for not taking on a challenge or a task. This is going to give you more leverage to accomplish your goals, because you can use these higher level goals, right? If one of your goals is, I want to lose weight, but you don't know what that means, then you say, how can I lose weight? What's the next piece, right? It just keeps building out. I can eat better. I can go to the gym. How can I work out more? Or how can I get to the gym? Yada, yada, yada. You just keep filling out these pieces, and before you know, you have all the pieces you need. The biggest takeaway and what I want you to focus on is the next time you think I can't do something, switch that to how can I, and just see what comes up. Because you might be surprised once you start getting into the details. Again, I'm not saying you should do every single thing that comes your way. It's just a mindset that you can use to kind of break down problems a little bit differently. Let me add one more example to give you an idea of something that's actually more realistic, right? So let's say that you come up with a goal and it has to do with money. There's two ways of thinking about it, right? One is, I can't double my income in the next year. The other one is, how can I double my income in the next year? Now, if you notice, one opens up your mind to start thinking about opportunities, and the other framing just shuts it down and just says it's not possible. Now, I know that this has been kind of repetitive, but I just feel like this is a really important mindset shift that opens up so many more opportunities to you. It's allowed me to really think about some of the tasks or challenges that I want to take on, break them down, and make progress or accomplish them. This is going to feed back into your happiness because it's going to allow you to get more stuff done, allow you to kind of tackle these bigger tasks that have kind of been gnawing at you, or just really be more open to opportunities as they come up because you'll be more tuned in to how to kind of solve these problems. So I want to kind of jump into an exercise and add some questions, right? My first question is, what's something that you wanted to do that you think you can't do? And the second part of it is, ask yourself, how can you do it? Maybe you're having a hard time coming up with something. If that's the case, try this question. How can you double your income in the next year? I'm not going to go over any more, but like I said, for the exercise today, step 1, think of something that you think you can't do. And step 2, ask yourself, how can I do this thing? That's all I've got for this video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, put them down in the box below. Have a good one.
You can check out more content at howtohappy.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. We've also got a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that you can check out. Reflect, take action, and enjoy life. See you next time.